I'm PJ.
I'm Blake.
And this is the Church Podcast, Episode 9. Pride goeth before destruction. And a haughty spirit before a fall.
A little haughty.
A haughty spirit. In today's episode, we're going to compare and contrast two church leaders, their fall, and their response to their fall. Because they're very, very different. Very intrigued.
Yeah. As you all know, we left the church that we were at. And after we left, things there just started to go downhill.
Seemingly.
Yes.
Seemingly our fault. Or our right.
Yes. That's debatable. It was really interesting to watch from the outside. Pretty much after we left was the beginning of the end. There was lots of stuff that was going on before that had, nothing to do with us. But I do feel like that situation was the straw that broke the camel's back.
It's speculation, but yeah.
Yes, that's just from my perspective.
It just seems like, that place went through so many splits, so many rebrandings. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting that something that basically happened between us had never happened there before. Mm-hmm. And this was the end. Mm-hmm. It's gone.
Yeah.
Maybe he's having his little mentoring sessions on Skype, or maybe he's just Skyping himself in the bathroom mirror. We don't know.
So there was two main pastors, pastor husband and pastor wife.
Yep.
And shortly after we left, pastor wife spent some time away as well. And so there were things going on with pastor husband that had nothing to do with us, just his own personal sins and struggles. And so that, I'm sure, was taking a toll on their relationship. There's no way it couldn't. It got so bad one time where he was too drunk to preach, and so he literally called her like Sunday morning and said that she had to preach, and she was visibly upset on stage, who wouldn't be. So she was trying to preach his message, and not like even one that she had written in. Anyway, so they were having issues already. And so we weren't at the church anymore, so we have no idea, but
right.
But we know that she was gone. Then about a year later, she had come out and said that she was no longer going to be a pastor at that church, and that her and her husband were getting a divorce.
Yeah. We need to summarize a decade of stuff to explain why she's gone.
I don't know if we can even fully explain why she's gone, because we weren't there when that happened.
Yeah, so we had our issue. There was a huge blow up. She essentially went haywire, attacked us, physical ways with you, emotional, written, verbal ways with me. And so that was when we left. Mm-hmm. And then just from watching from the outside and kind of talking to people we knew from the church that still were there, and still were talking to us, heard some things about their issues. She left. Maybe he wanted her to leave. Maybe she couldn't be around him.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. We don't know. Mm-hmm. Somebody knows, but we don't know. The point of this podcast is to highlight the way they've responded to the crumbling of the church. Mm-hmm. There's been several messages from her to me or on my social media, not to me directly, but on my social media posts or something, apologizing and taking, owning fault for what she did. So this is the funny part. There's been multiple messages in Facebook Lives that she's done apologizing to everyone,
and naming us specifically.
Naming us and naming others, and talking about specific things she did that were wrong, and owning it, and apologizing and taking steps to change and, become a better person, a better Christian, You know, I'm sure she wants to be a pastor again someday.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's funny you do that at the same time.
She's repentant is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to highlight these two because the way the top dog at that place is behaving is shameful.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. And it's kind of sad.
It's really
I wonder
sad.
if he's even all there.
Yeah.
She, on the other hand, seems to be aware and is humbling herself. And
Acting like a Christian.
yeah, I mean, you know, it's like we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But I feel her apologies. It's funny to see the contrast to what he's doing.
Yeah.
So we're going to put up some of his messages from his Facebook and the stuff that he's saying and the way he's behaving. Basically, all of it is to cover up and excuse himself to the point of acting like he's somebody else, creating fake Facebook pages to attack people that he's already hurt.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and hurt them even more. Like,
It doesn't make any sense. It's so sad.
yeah, it's like, okay, I guess I never knew you, who you really were, because I'd probably knock you on your ass. But she is the opposite of that. Anyway, we call this Pride Goeth before destruction and Haughty Spirit before a fall, because that place was at one point, it was like a bustling, fruitful environment. People actually liked being there for a little bit.
Yeah.
And what an opportunity missed because he got comfortable. You know, I mean, we can only speculate about their relationship and stuff that we don't know about, but it seems like, based on their responses, that she was just as much a victim as everybody else. But she had a title,
Right.
and she was also in charge, you know, at a higher level. And so, of course, she, you know, tends to take most of the blame. If either of them are watching, I would hope that he opens his eyes and sees that he owes an apology to many people and stop being a dumbass.
Yeah.
And her, I hope that she doesn't take this podcast personal, but can recognize that we're addressing past events. Her apology is accepted.
Yeah.
And we all have some blame in the whole circumstance. You know, it's not just all on her.
Yeah. We let
But
it happen.
a lot of conversations have seemed to vilify her, and so want to let it be known that she is on a healing path, and he's not.
Yeah.
But she's not trying to look like she's on a healing path, and he is, but he's clearly not.
Right. Gosh, that's so interesting. That is so true. She's literally just being open, honest with where she's at, and letting people see her human side. And that's what we love about her and have always loved about her. And I think that that's something that he tries to put off. I think he tries to put off a fake humanness.
I think he's such a master manipulator that he manipulates himself. He really thinks that people are mad at him. Why? I've never done anything. I'm really trying to figure out, PJ, why you might be mad at me. Can you help me with that?
Yeah. I think that shows so much the contrast between them. She commented on your Facebook and has reached out and publicly apologized, you know, to you. And then he sends you a text almost a year later asking you why you're mad at him.
I just can't figure it out. One thing might be asking for a haircut while I'm in the fucking trial of my life. Are we just gonna go over and have coffee and talk about it. Me, you, and your wife. Gotta look sharp for Sunday.
So weird.
Pastor wife, we do love you and forgive you. And pastor husband, we also love you and forgive you. But pastor wife, we appreciate your humility and your apologies and your efforts to become a healthy and thriving person again. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you forgive us, and you can see that we're trying to speak about this situation in a way that only people involved would know who we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And we want to keep it that way. We're not judging you. We're not judging anyone.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, we deserve just as much judgment as anyone else.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything really to say to pastor husband except to ask a question maybe. When are you going to do a Facebook Live? Because right now you're lagging behind. This has been episode 9. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on social media or whatever. Please leave feedback and comments. It actually is really scary to do this type of thing and talk about something, you know, from a really one-sided perspective, you know, and so if you have negative feedback or positive feedback, it's welcome.